Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be talking about multiple sclerosis. This slideshow looks totally different than my other ones. It is orange, and almost every slideshow that I do is a nice vintage brown. But my class told me that I should use more color in mine, so I decided to use orange. And you'll see why orange is the color in a second. Honestly, before we get started, I just have a couple things to announce. Thank y'all so much for getting me to 191 subscribers. I love y'all so much. And I know I post two completely different kinds of content, but if you guys have anything else that y'all would like me to post, then just comment those down below or go to one of my community posts and just comment it there. I honestly don't care where, I will see it regardless. YouTube is gonna be so sick of me. This is probably the 6th video that I'm uploading today, and they're all just kind of like healthy videos, and I'm gonna put them on the playlist later, so be sure to be following for that. But anyways, let's talk about multiple sclerosis, and I love to say that word. So here is the description. Multiple sclerosis is a disease that causes breakdown of the protective covering of the nerves. Multiple sclerosis can cause numbness, weakness, trouble walking, vision changes, and other symptoms. It's also known as MS. In MS, the immune system attacks the protective shelf that covers nerve fibers, known as melanin. This interrupts communication between the brain and the rest of the body. Eventually, the disease can cause permanent damage of the nerve fibers. And down at the bottom left, you can kind of see where that is occurring. It's that big white spot, which is pretty obvious, but just talk that out. Causes, and I don't know how to say that. The cause of multiple sclerosis is not known. It's considered an immune-mediated disease in which the body's immune system attacks its own tissues. In MS, the immune system attacks and destroys the fatty substance that coats and protects nerve fibers in the brain and spinal cord. This fatty substance is called melanin. Melanin can be compared to the insulation coating on electrical wires. When the protective melanin is damaged and the nerve fiber is exposed, the messages traveling along the nerve fiber may be slowed or blocked. It isn't clear why MS develops in some people and not others. A combination of genetics and environmental factors may increase the risk of multiple sclerosis. And on the bottom left, I just have a picture of the brain, the spinal cord, and all the nerves, just to kind of like give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Signs and symptoms. Symptoms of MS depends on the person, the location of the damaged nerve system, and how bad the damage is to the nerve fibers. Some people lose the ability to walk on their own or move at all. Others may have long periods between attacks without any new symptoms, called remission. The course of the disease varies depending on the type of MS. There is no cure for multiple sclerosis. However, there are treatments to help speed the recovery from attacks, modify the course of the disease, and manage symptoms. Common symptoms include numbness or tingling, lack of coordination, weakness, double vision, blurry vision, etc. So on the top right, it's basically, so the top one is the normal neutron. Okay, you have the cell bodies, the yellow, the melanin is the, and the passages and messages along the axon. And then on the bottom, this is the messed up one. So we can see how the orange, the melanin, changes in between the two, and that is the damaged one. And therefore, that causes the message to be distorted. And you can also see the same thing at the bottom right. You can just tell that the messages are not being sent right because the melanin is not good. So here are some treatments. So first one is an MRI, which can reveal areas of MS on the brain and spinal cord. These areas are called lesions. A contrast dye may be given through an IV to highlight lesions that show the disease is in an active phase. So then I have a picture of what the MRI looks like. It looks like a big donut. Blood tests, which can help rule out other diseases when symptoms similar to MS. Tests to check for specific biomarkers linked to MS are being developed. These tests may help with diagnosing the disease. And then that picture, I just have those little blood tubes that store your blood when it's being drawn. And the last one I have is optical coherence tomography, which uses light waves to produce images of the eye. In MS, a condition called optic neuritis causes changes in the retina. Optical coherence tomography may be used to measure thickness of the retina. It also may show damage to the retinal nerve fiber. And that, what the guy's looking into, that's the machine. Next, I have outcomes. So, the multiple sclerosis outcomes vary widely, with some individuals experiencing mild symptoms and others facing significant disability, but most people with MS have a near normal life expectancy. So the picture on the left is basically we have normal people, no disability, but mild symptoms. And then we have minimal disability, and it's just showing you like the different stages of it. So people can be up and walking perfectly fine, but then other people are bedridden and unable to communicate, and then some even die due to multiple sclerosis. So it can be deadly. Diagnostic tests and procedures. At this time, no symptoms, physical findings, or laboratory tests can, by themselves, prove that you have multiple sclerosis. To make an MS diagnosis, the physician must find evidence of damage in at least two separate areas of the central nervous system. The central nervous system includes the brain, spinal cord, and optic nerves, and find evidence that the damage occurred at different points in time, and rule out all possible diagnoses. Prevention methods. Prevention measures. Researchers on the ended pathway seek to eliminate everyone's exposure to known risk factors. Among them are metabolic factors such as being overweight in adolescence, low levels of vitamin D, pollutants such as cigarette smoke, and exposure to Epstein-Barr virus, EBV. Obviously, like, you can't be overweight, and then no smoke, and then at the top is what the EBV looks like, if you did not know what that was. Next is some interesting facts about multiple sclerosis. March is Multiple Sclerosis Education and Awareness Month, which is my birthday month if anybody cares. Orange is the official color for MS awareness. Butterflies often represent the shape commonly seen on a magnetic resonance imaging, the MRI, scan of a brain of a person with MS. Multiple sclerosis is more commonly seen in regions away from the equator. The highest incident rate seems to be in Scotland. We don't have a full understanding of what causes MS, but for every 10 degrees away from the equator, symptoms seem to occur on average of 10 months earlier. Thank y'all so much for listening to me talk about multiple sclerosis, and if you listen to any of the other ones, thank you so much for listening to those as well. And at the very end, I have my sources I used for this time, which so far is the most sources that I've used, that I'm aware of. My first one was obviously the multiple sclerosis treatments, ending multiple sclerosis forever, multiple sclerosis prevention, and what the color orange means to me as someone with MS, multiple sclerosis. So thank you guys so much, and go watch the other ones.